everyone. Welcome to Lives Worth Telling. I'm your host, Jodes, and my podcast is about digging deep into people's stories and providing them with a platform to share their life and their experiences with my listeners. One of the key reasons in creating this podcast is so their families and friends can have a record of their life, their stories, and their voice forever. One of my favourite things is hearing about people's stories, their triumphs, their hardships, but most of all, I love hearing about their resilience. I really hope you enjoy listening to my guests share their lives with you. I want you to have a few laughs and allow yourself to be immersed in their stories. Welcome to episode 4 of season 4 of Lives Worth Telling. Now, it's been quite some time since I recorded last, and we have gathered so many new listeners, and there's been over 75 new locations. I'm not going to read them all out. There is so many. We've got Long Beach, California, Brunei, Haiphong, Baghdad, Hanyang Province, Cairo, Casablanca, Stara Zagara, Santa Fe, Buenos Aires, Kerala, Da Nang, Panama, Cordoba, Minsk, Santa Catarina, Abu Dhabi, Beirut. There's just so many. Punjab, Dhaka, Lagos, Cape Town, Northamptonshire, Copenhagen, Rome, Barcelona, Sao Paulo, Norwalk, Naples. There is just so many. So welcome to all our new listeners. It's still mind-blowing that, Rio de Janeiro as well. It's so mind-blowing that there are so many new locations. So today's episode brings some really heavy themes with it around trauma, sexual abuse, and growing up in the system. Today we meet Annie, and she shares some significant life turning points. She grew up in Melbourne, but she grew up in the foster system. She has experienced a lot of trauma and grief in her life. As you listen, you can hear her resilience shining through as she speaks with us and openly talks about several of her life experiences. So settle in for a thought-provoking yet engaging chat with Annie. Enjoy. Okay, so, oh my goodness, today, interestingly, I had this person contact me through the Lives Worth Telling email, and she really, really wants to share her story. It is an incredible story. There's lots of moving parts to this one, but I'm going to say welcome to you, Annie.
Hello.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we've done a lot of chit-chatting before we started recording, but there is a lot to unpack here, my lovely listeners, but we are going to start off with your background and childhood. So tell me about your family, your parents, your siblings, if grandparents included, and over to you.
Okay.
Where do you start with this one?
Right. Well, my grandparents on my mother's side were Greek,
Mm-hmm.
and the grandparents on my father's side are Maltese.
Okay.
And but I don't remember my grandparents on my father's side so much. I remember maybe meeting them, 2 or 3 times perhaps, when I was very, very early on.
Okay.
But it was a very, very traumatic situation. The impactful things that I do remember, I had to go and get a lot of healing over time when I actually stopped to think about, where I've come from, where I'm moving forward, why am I thinking like this, why am I feeling like that. I just knew things weren't totally right. I tried to block things out, but then I had to deal with them.
So grew up with mum, dad, siblings from early on?
I was actually with my parents until I was about 3.
Okay.
And then my sister, my brother and I actually went into the care system.
Okay.
So
from both of your folks then? So
what happened was my father had found another partner and he started another family with this particular partner.
Okay.
And he always promised he'd come back and get us. So we always thought it was like a temporary thing. But, 15 years later.
Yeah, right.
Never eventuated.
So all three of you, when you say you went into the system, were all three of you adopted to another family, or? We
started off in an orphanage before we went into a family group home, they were called.
Okay. Where was this located?
This was around Dandenong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we had one family for 2 years.
Okay.
They were a lovely Scottish couple, and then they left.
Okay.
And then we had another family come and look after us, and that was just so dysfunctional.
So good that you were all kept together though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My brother was autistic.
Mm-hmm.
My sister was very, very young. But,
okay. What's the age gaps between you guys?
My brother and I, there was 3 years difference.
Okay.
And then my sister and I was 2 years difference.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So mum was just not coping, not capable to look after you guys?
No, she had a history of mental ill health.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been started off or wouldn't have been helped having such an abusive father.
Okay.
He was also a big gambler, a big womanizer.
Okay.
He also we came to understand that he was actually sexually abusing a few family members, and that was unfortunately including me.
Oh, geez.
The first time I do remember, I would have been 3 or 4.
Okay.
And then I became quite withdrawn after that. I used to wince anytime, particularly a male would come near me, even if they were innocently wanting to show me affection. I just, pull away, But it took me a long while to sort of come to know why I was like that. And then I started understanding things as I got older, and obviously I had some therapy as well.
Yes, definitely.
But during the time before I'd even started school, the trauma was so compounded because I do remember too being separated from my family as well.
Of course.
And I accidentally drank kerosene, which was, it caused me to obviously stop breathing. And I had a spiritual experience of actually visiting heaven and having an encounter with Jesus.
Okay.
So I do remember that very, very clearly. And I remember even when times are tough now, I always sort of think about those things because I know, well, that's our eternal place, Not everyone does have that connection with God, but I certainly did. And I've had little snippets of spiritual intervention as I grew older and even as an adult, where I cannot explain it any other way other than it's been sent from God, and even though there's been a lot of trauma and dysfunction and heartache and oppression and suppression, there's been a lot of blessings and empowerment and discernment and wisdom. And I came to appreciate those things, I think, particularly after becoming a single parent, probably in my late 30s, I kind of went down that track.
So take me back to when you drunk the kerosene. Do you remember much about that time? So you 4 or 5 before starting school?
Yeah, I would have been about 4. I do remember.
And you were living in this?
I was living in a commission unit in Williamstown at the time.
Okay.
And there just happened to be a nurse babysitting us.
Oh, wow.
And that person was babysitting us because my mother was very unwell in hospital.
Okay. So you weren't in care at this point?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. Unless it was just a weekend with my family, but I don't think so because soon afterwards my father had the other partner. So I think it was I was still in the care of my family.
Okay.
So anyway, when I did drink that kerosene, I do remember. I remember so clearly. We had sandwiches at the table, and I remember drinking that, then going back to the table to finish my lunch, and then falling. I remember actually physically falling down. The next minute, I felt like I was going through a golden tunnel, like from this earth to the next, and there was a lot of bright light around me, and then almost feeling that physical sensation of being spat out the other end.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh my God, where am I? I'm in another world. I'm not supposed to be here. You know, what's going on? And I remember looking up and around me and seeing beautiful flowers. It's like the Garden of Eden. It was just so perfect. Bright coloured flowers, and it was actually warm.
Wow.
It was actually warm in temperature. And I remember hearing this swishing sound to my left and seeing a huge golden tumbler with water coming out like a waterfall.
Okay.
But still those thoughts, where am I? What am I doing here? I'm not supposed to be here. Then looking straight ahead of me and seeing it's like descending from the sky in like a big clear elevator. I saw this big, long white robe and a man with a sort of a golden browny colour beard.
Okay.
Arms outstretched with a long face with piercing eyes and just feeling it was just so peaceful. And I was very curious to know, more what's going on here. I think soon afterwards I must have had CPR because that's all I remember of that vision.
Oh, radio.
And then I do remember groggily waking up again on a stretcher, being taken to the Williamstown Hospital, which is only a couple of streets away from where the commission house was, which was fortunate.
And was your family at the time, were they religious and Christians or?
No, I don't believe my father was.
Okay.
I think my mother was Greek Orthodox, but as I got
yes, of course, yes,
as I got to know her, as I grew older, I did learn that she became quite close with God.
Okay.
She had quite a few more traumatic experiences, unfortunately. I remember when I was about 16, she was going to marry somebody, and he was a really lovely guy. He was an electrician, and he had a holiday home around Jemison. And I remember he was particularly good with my sister and I, really kind-hearted and easygoing, and he always included us with things, and we felt like we really wanted, And unfortunately, 6 weeks before he was to marry my mother, he was at his daughter's wedding.
Oh my
and
gosh.
he was dancing and he actually dropped dead of a heart attack.
Oh, geez.
So that didn't work out well.
No.
The mum,
they
had the house all set up and everything. And at that stage, my sister was going to go and live with them. So my poor sister, she's like, okay, what happens now? She didn't take that very well at all, and she went off the rails for a bit. My mother didn't really have anyone in her life after that. But he would have been amazing had that worked out.
What a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame. So where were you born?
Yeah. I was born at the Royal Women's in Carlton.
Yes.
And I remember being told it was around 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And I was a really, really little baby. I think I was like 5 pound 3 or something so tiny.
Yeah.
But I was a preemie baby.
Okay.
And back then my mother smoked while she was pregnant, like a lot of them did, you know.
Yes. Low birth weight then.
But I do have very early memories too as a very, very young child, even before I was 1, believe it or not.
Okay.
I remember being at a party somewhere near where my parents were living, and a lot of noise, a smoke-filled room, and loud. One particular lady's voice, her name was Maria, and she had Armenian background, but she was very, very loving and sociable and loud and boisterous. And I remember her coming up to me and playing with me, and they had this thing, they used to squeeze your cheeks.
Yes.
And I do remember that really, really clearly. And I remember the layout of the house, a lot of orange and flower power. And,
yes.
And then I remember Mum coming to collect me. She put me on a beanbag and I was just looking around the room. But, yeah, a lot of smoke.
Yes.
But back then they had lots of parties. That family were big on parties. It was a very big family.
Yeah.
My grandmother actually ended up having 13 children.
Oh,
and
wow.
I think 2 passed away, and that was over in Tripoli where they started.
Oh, okay.
My grandfather used to collect sea sponges around the Mediterranean with a company, and their port was Tripoli. So my mum migrated when she would have been she was about 12 or 13.
Okay.
Yeah, and they came in dribs and drabs. There was already an older aunt here, and they sponsored them out. So, and the name of the ship was Galileo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And I think that was about a 4-month trip abroad. And and yeah, there's some random snippets I remember from my childhood too, like just when my grandparents were out here, they had a big house that had 5 big bedrooms, and each family had their own bedroom until they went out and bought their own home. So it was always crazy, noisy, chaotic. But that's when we had the best fun,
of course,
generally speaking. I was actually quite close to cousins at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
There were always barbecues in the backyard, whether it was a lamb on the spit with, lots of activity going on. But I remember it was always really noisy and chaotic and fun. Yeah.
Were you still involved in family celebrations when you were out, like in the system then?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
You still saw your family even though you
Yeah,
weren't
we
living...
did. I think we ended up – I didn't see my father so much.
Mm-hmm.
One traumatic thing I do remember is being kidnapped. I was playing out in the street, and my father was trying to have contact with us, but the care worker wouldn't allow it. But it was quite a rough sort of a character, and I never really felt comfortable around him. Mm-hmm. And I kept refusing to go to the phone. And then one time he rocked up and shoved us in the car, and we went off for the weekend. Right. I think that's, I shouldn't really laugh because it's actually quite serious, but I remember safety wasn't always adhered to, but it certainly caused a wedge later on as I grew older as well. With my mother, though, her and her other siblings used to come and assist with weekend visits, and early on in the piece, particularly. They used to come and maybe spend, half a day with us or with other cousins. And my mother always used to come and bring money, and the carer would save it for us. And then as I grew older, closest to 18, this is probably the best thing she ever did was she actually said, look, I've invested this with your brother's money. Make sure that you get a will, because she knew what my family were going to do, particularly one particular aunt.
Yep.
And I actually couldn't get up there to do this. It was with the state trustees before my brother passed away. I knew he was unwell though. He ended up dying of a prolapsed bowel.
Oh, gee.
He had autism as well as diabetes.
Okay.
And I predicted his death, and I wish to goodness I had have acted on it a bit sooner.
Yeah.
I was coming back from an overseas trip, and I just remember turning to my husband at the time saying, I don't think my brother's going to be around much longer. And of course, he didn't believe it, but yeah, sure enough.
How old was he when he passed away?
He was 29.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So then you were left with your sister.
Yeah. And so what happened was my sister, I was married to a farmer. I couldn't get a way to organise this will. So I left it to my sister. My sister just rocks up there and she says, just do whatever you have to do.
Mm.
Anyway, I didn't realise this till much later, of course. So there was no will, and then when my brother passed away, I organised his funeral, and after costs were allocated, the money that was left over went straight back to my father and my mother. But my mother's share didn't actually go to my mother. A particular family member took it and invested it.
Okay.
So that's where this coercive control and manipulation and criminality started, what I could see. And that's when I was further isolated from my mother's side of the family, particularly,
the beginning of something there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was really angry because my father used that money to wed my half-sister, his daughter.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I had to pay for my own wedding. I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Yes.
I was quite horrified that he wouldn't have done the right thing, know.
That's a shame. That's a shame when, unfortunately it doesn't always work out the way everyone thinks it will. No. I'm going to take you back a step. Is when you were a child, or whether you were with family or in the system, can you think of any favourite meals that you used to love?
You know what? There's probably one thing that stands out, but a lot of the time I didn't eat at home because the carer was really, really abusive.
Okay.
And
is this the second one you said?
The second one. Yeah. I remember she was having an argument one time with her daughter. Both of her children were adopted.
Okay.
And I remember she was chopping something on a chopping board. Next minute, she grabbed this knife and she literally threw it through, and it went through the window. So we all had to duck. I'm sitting there thinking, am I imagining that? Or did that really happen? She was so volatile, and it was just so, we were never, ever prepared for what was going to happen.
No.
And I just didn't want to hang around. So luckily I had a part-time job in a milk bar, and I always had pocket money, so I always racked off. I always made sure I was going to spend at least amount of time at home.
Yes.
Particularly after this lady's husband passed away with cancer when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
It was a lot worse then. I thought, no, I'm just going to do my own thing. So, yeah, I always did things morally, but I always made sure I just was only home for basic things.
Yeah, yeah. Home probably wasn't home to you then.
No. It was just a place where, I showered and
where you slept
and then I hung out with my friends. But my poor sister at that stage, she was trying to stick up for me when this particular lady was laying into me again. And it backfired. So she was afraid. So she decided to go to the guys next door who I used to hang out with and lock herself in the bathroom.
Oh, my gosh.
So I stood there and copped all this abuse thinking, oh, God, what are we going to do now? Anyway, my biggest regret was when my friend's father came home, he'd come around to try and sort things out, and he actually rang the people that were in charge of our particular home to try and get us protection, and it just turned pear-shaped. I was given the phone and had to explain the situation, and I just couldn't. I just froze. This woman was just glaring at me with these beady eyes, and I'm thinking, I can't tell my story in this scenario at this time.
Yes.
But hopefully they will believe her enough and they will chase it up and they will get her better protection and a better care and a better home life. But no, she ran away. So she was on the streets and ended up in a facility called Wynn Leighton.
Okay. For girls.
I think it was in Mitcham or
I've
around
heard of it,
Nunawading,
yeah.
Mitcham. So, of course, she hung out with some crims and her life was never the same, but she never forgave me because I never went to look for her. I had no idea where to look for
Jeez.
her.
So
But-
if you're in the system,
Yeah.
when you turn 18, does that change somewhat?
You leave
Yeah.
once you're 18. They
Yeah.
don't have any responsibility for you.
Yeah.
I only stayed there and because I was pretty much saving some money up and then trying to work out what I wanted to do. But one of my mother's sisters actually decided to take me on for 2 years. This is the same woman that became the perpetrator.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So
I was going to say, one of my questions is, what are some memorable holidays or outings?
I do remember going to South Australia at one point for a road trip with this second family that we had.
Okay.
Because he had family in South Australia.
Okay.
I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And aside from that, I had a couple of special birthdays.
Okay.
When I turned 16,
Mm-hmm.
I remember having a birthday party at a place in the city called, it was in Collins Street called, might have been near the Spaghetti Tree.
Oh,
that
yeah.
top end near Parliament. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
Not the Hard Rock Cafe. No.
I'll think of it when I go home probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was pretty spectacular and
Oh,
I got to
wow.
have 2 friends there. But the thing was, this particular carer's brother was grooming me
Oh,
over
goodness
time
me.
and I wasn't really aware of it or I kind of turned a bit of a blind eye until things started adding up.
Mm.
Talk about crazy. And when the carer's husband passed away with cancer, or as he was passing away, I remember going past him to date me. And I think I must have been, I was at least 16 anyway. And he said, no way. Like he was really trying to protect
my
me, of
goodness.
course. And
Goodness.
he said, why? She's so mature and we get along so and blah, blah, blah. And that's all I remember. But I was like horrified, thinking, you got to be joking. So then that particular afternoon, he actually did intercept me in the hallway and he said, oh, look, I'm going to go away for a while now. I'm really, really hurt. He goes, did you hear any of that? And I said, of course I said no. And
So how old was he?
he would have been probably close to 40, I'd
Yeah,
say.
for goodness sake.
And I'm like, I thought to myself, just go. Oh my
yeah,
God, I
yeah.
heard that. I'm not letting you
Get
know
away from
that.
me. Yeah.
So anyway, that's something impactful, but I always second guessed myself around males after then.
Mm.
And
The trust. No trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Do you have any childhood pets around?
we
that
did
time, or-
have a Alsatian, and I can't stand dogs inside, but this particular one was quite a special dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the carer's sons were breeding pit bulls,
Okay.
and I didn't particularly like those ones. Too aggressive
Yes.
for me.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess your childhood as a whole. I mean, one of my questions is, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced growing up? So it seems like you've really had challenges from very, very young,
Absolutely.
and being with family or being in the system, so to speak, is that's come with. It's quite varied. There'll be families that will take on children that are so genuine and so trustworthy and give those families or those children a home that
Life
they wouldn't
environment.
otherwise have. But then there's also the flip side is that isn't always guaranteed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yes, I feel for you that you, for reasons of circumstances, that you haven't had those childhood experiences as opposed to other people that have had those experiences. But it sounds like that first family that you were with were trying to, I guess, create an environment where you could flourish, and
they were lovely.
but such a shame when that comes to an end, and then you have to have the new people that aren't anywhere, close to, and then how long do you have to endure that? And then it finishes when you're 18, and then you look at the skills that you've built up over that time or experiences you've built up. Where's that foundation to be able to face life?
Absolutely.
At 18.
Yeah. Well, I know I was quite shut down for a long, long time, and I had to really work through that healing journey. But I guess I didn't actually realise how shut down I was and how I had given away opportunities. Like there'd be opportunities like I was going to start nursing at the Melbourne School for Enrolled Nurses, but I just didn't believe in myself. I was 19 and I remember we had to go and dress a body for the morgue, and I said, I'm only 19, I can't do that. And they turned around and said, well, you better work out whether you want to be a nurse or not. And then I turned around and said, well, maybe I don't. And that's it. I just walked out the door. I had no one pulling me back or encouraging me. That was it. I was just so flippant. And I did have a fair few opportunities.
Is there anyone during that time that you remember that was quite a key trustworthy person, or was it just pretty much everyone that you came into contact with that there was an agenda of some sort? Was there anyone that comes to your mind that you think they were as close to a really trustworthy person?
I did have a really lovely carer. They had a lot of respite workers in the last probably 2 years of my life in this particular home, and especially after the carer's husband passed away with cancer, she was made to go on long service and trips away because she was so aggressive. Particularly after my sister ran away. There was one beautiful woman, her name was Debbie, and she came from Patterson Lakes, and she had the biggest heart.
Yes.
And she was always so caring and always making my favourite food, and had time for me after school and would sit and listen, and then also when she wasn't working there, she'd include me in her family outings and take me away. And during the time my little girl was born, she would sort of fill the gap, you know, for the family.
So kept in contact all that time.
Absolutely.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah, but unfortunately she passed away with cancer. She was only like 53.
Goodness.
But otherwise, we were a lot like mother and daughter. She was very inspirational and very genuine, and she was always looking after kids.
No, I'm sure you've heard of the quote, that every child deserves a hero, that there is always someone, and it can be someone really random that's not even related to the situation, but someone that really, and it may not be lasting, but now
she gave me hope, and she believed in me.
I was going to say that.
They were Christians too. They introduced me to God. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my previous episodes, I interviewed Vanessa. Her and her sister did foster care. So did her.
I did as
family.
well. I worked for Wesley Mission.
Yeah. So, and that can have pluses and minuses too, when the children then can often go back to the parents, and that can be a little bit heartbreaking for the foster family. But yes, my question here, this one, what's the most mischievous thing you did as a kid? Can you think of anything that was in all of the, I guess, negativity and trauma? What's some cheeky, funny?
Oh, I think my sister did this too. We used to have pre-packed lunches that came out of the freezer, like, that might have been sitting there for a month or something. Wow. So we would throw them down the drain at the end of the court.
Yes.
They'd go and buy hot chips or whatever at school, or come home starving because we hadn't eaten all day.
Yes.
That was probably one.
Yes.
But that's probably not that naughty, is it? Or another thing was if we'd ever have 20 cents on us or find 20 cents somewhere or whatever.
Yeah.
We'd race to a milk bar that was in the same street as our primary school and buy lollies and then go to school a bit later.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think.
Do you know,
basic
just
things,
on that, finding 20 cents thing. So you would find coins on the ground. Now, with our current everything's electronic, where would that be that you would find a coin on the ground to be able to go and buy something?
Yeah.
People don't really have coins. They're not really using cash or coins. So I think that was such a thing when you were a kid that you would see a coin on the ground and someone's,
and it was so valuable.
And it would buy you a fair bit of stuff at the milk bar. Absolutely.
Yeah. I tell you something else though. I did actually find a $50 note on the floor.
Oh my
gosh. The ground, and it was a really bizarre thing.
That's gold.
Because I tell you, I was catching up with my sister and my mum Christmas Eve because I had to be elsewhere for Christmas. And I remember being a bit low on cash, and I must have spent probably $50 to try and get us together with food and drink and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And at the last minute, they decided to go to a cafe. They didn't wait for me. They ate their lunch, and I've come back and I've spent all this food. I'm like,
no.
Did you guys just misunderstand me? And I went off in a huff. I thought, right, I've just wasted my money. So anyway, I had to go to a chemist on the way home, stopped off, got out of the car. There was no one around. And I remember walking up over the gutter and there was this little gust of wind that came from nowhere. And I looked down, and this is no joke.
Gosh.
There was a $50 note and it actually flew up to my hand.
Jeez.
As I was bending down. I'm like, are you serious? There was no one around.
Yeah.
Things like that happen to me all the
Oh,
time.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we will touch a little bit back on your childhood, but we'll move into the next segment, which is education and school life. Now, I'm thinking that school may have been two things. It could have been a safe haven where you enjoyed being.
Yeah.
Describe what school was like for you, and did you like school?
I did, actually. It probably was a safe haven. I had some really beautiful friendships, you know, and I think the teachers probably gave me a little bit more attention, I feel.
Yes.
Feel that. Right up to probably year 10, but unfortunately with all the trauma going on and stuff, I actually developed an eating disorder.
Okay.
So that impacted on my concentration and I couldn't sleep well at night, and we had this flow-on effect of things, you know. But I did go to year 12. I didn't pass all my subjects in year 12, but I wasn't bothered by that. But I just knew that I needed to be in that particular area till I worked out where I was going, what I was going to do.
Yeah, that's right.
But I loved the work that I did, my part-time job. It just gave me independence. Mostly I did. I did mostly enjoy high school. That was a private school. I was lucky enough to go to a private school, but I had to earn my way there first, get enough good grades to prove that I was okay. But my poor sister went to a public school, and that's another contention thing, you know. She's like, you got to go there and I go here. And
that was into high school you're talking about, primary to high?
Yeah, she wasn't she just felt like she was second rate all the time, and this comparison thing started. But I don't know. I would have preferred to go to a public school. I'm not so sure, But I certainly made some really lovely friendships. Even now, I've got some really great friends out of that school that I went to.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's so
some
good.
stability.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But I did actually study at TAFE when I got my diploma in community services over in Wodonga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after the failed nursing stint. Yes.
We're going to move into family life as an adult. So, you did have a partner quite a few years ago now, and do you have children?
Yes, I did. We used to work together at a hospital in Richmond, and he was working in the hydro department and I was working in the catering department.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of intercepted, I served his lunch most of the time, and then somebody came up and asked me if I had a partner. I said, no, I don't. Oh, well, why don't you come and meet us for a drink across to Barassi's pub and let's catch up. So we did, and then things happened from there, and he was a bit of a muso, my ex-husband, and he was looking after a physiotherapist's townhouse in Thornbury and had a bit of a get-together. So that's kind of how that started.
Yes.
And, I think everyone wanted to get to know this guy, tall, good-looking, blonde, beautiful olive skin, and looked a lot like James Rain.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
and had that charisma as well,
Yes.
So that's how that started, and then I deliberately went over to Albury Wodonga to study, to be a bit closer to him because he went back to his parents' dairy farm.
Okay.
And his father had a heart attack and he was offered that the position to come back and help out on the farm. Otherwise they might have had to have sold earlier.
Yes.
So he decided to go back and then I'd see him probably every second weekend when I was living in Albury Wodonga. I did live in Albury for a little while, then I went to Wodonga. And I boarded with a lovely family there, and they too were Christians, which was really lovely.
Yes.
And get this, I often believe that God places you in places where you're meant to be, unbeknownst to you at the time, but later on when you think things through, you think, oh, that's why, and this is why. Why did I meet that person, and what was all that about, and all that sort of stuff. But I remember seeing on this particular person's fridge a picture of a caseworker.
Okay.
His name was Rod Powell, and we really quite enjoyed this guy. He was really, really lovely, good at his job, and he did missionary work over in Africa.
Oh, okay.
And that's why he happened to be on this particular person's fridge.
Okay.
Anyway, these lovely people invited him around for dinner one night. But my sister heard him say, I don't remember these children, because my sister was with me as well, and she was heartbroken. See, we didn't matter after all, and that's just sent her off again. Like,
gosh.
I'm not that important after all, and they don't remember us.
Oh.
So, yeah, she was so sensitive, but I didn't hear that comment, but it didn't bother me, but I thought, oh, well, never mind.
Yes. Yes. So, so you have 2 children when you were...
I do have 2 children. One's 27 and one's nearly 26.
Yes, gosh. And do you remember any family holidays or getaways that you had with the children? Yeah. We did. We did do a road trip. We went to the Sunshine Coast. Oh, yeah. And
his family had cousins around Coffs Harbour.
Okay.
Yeah. The kids were very, very young though, but we were having a lot of dramas with his aggression and his the way we could try and manage, family life with the way things seem to be not really progressing.
Yes. Okay.
So I wanted this situation, this memory for the children. And I think my daughter does remember bits and pieces, but I knew that it would have been an absolute miracle if we had have decided to stay together after that. So yeah, that was that. And my children were gorgeous. My son had big blue eyes and blonde hair. My daughter had blonde hair, olive skin, and really big dark eyes.
Yes.
And they were 17 months apart.
Oh, yeah, very close in age, yeah.
Yeah, so, that was one time that we did. But then as they grew older, I actually took them to some of the same places and revisited those memories and took photos as older children.
Yes.
So they've been on a couple of holidays with me since I have become a single person, one separately and then both of them together.
Okay.
Because they were kind of at each other for a fair bit some of that time.
Yes.
You know, so it's we just managed best we could, you know. Wasn't always easy. He was also in the Victorian cross country team, my son. So he had planned on doing that as a career and he was supposed to be in Canada with that, but also he was a footballer. He actually stuffed his knee and had to have knee surgery. So that stuffed that idea up. But,
Look, I've got a couple of questions coming up. What was the happiest time in your adult life so far? But on the flip side, I've also got what was the hardest time and how'd you get through it? So let's start off with the positive. What's been the happiest time in your adult life so far?
Happiest time? Look, I think being able to purchase again a home, something solid, make a home again for myself.
Yeah, awesome.
Along the peninsula, and I absolutely love it over there.
Awesome.
It's just such a world away, but it's just so amazing. And to...
Especially after everything that you've been through to achieve something like that.
That's exactly right, because I actually did sell my first home and we had a lot of trauma trying to get the kids sorted. I had to relocate to country Victoria to try and settle the children and go through a bit of a legal process with their father, put an order on him for my children's safety. So, it was a bit rocky there for a while, but I'm just so thankful that I have been able to meet the right people at the right time to do more healing and be encouraged and see things come to pass. Yeah. You know, it's not just a pipe dream, it's happened. And I've also renovated. Awesome. I've put a deck area in my backyard and I've got an amazing job now.
Yeah,
and,
awesome.
I'm slowly starting to meet people and the families that I work for have had amazing lives and they live in such beautiful big mansions and they've always got amazing stories to tell. And then I've got my chefing. I have never actually worked as a traditional chef. Yes. But I do incorporate my chefing skills when I need to.
So you've got two qualifications then.
I do.
You did was it Diploma of Community Services?
I did.
Yes.
And I got that in 1996.
Yes.
And with the preschool mothercraft nurse as well. So I've actually, and incorporated with that was Division 5 with the Nurses Board. Yes. But I would have loved to have worked with babies, but, you know, there was one job going at the Albury-based hospital and the group that the group that went through that hospital situation at that stage actually offered those jobs to us. Wow. They said these are the best 3 girls we've actually ever had on board and we'd love to offer them work. But I was getting married at that time, so I put his life first. He was like an hour and a half away. Okay. The farm was like an hour and a half away from Albury, but that would have been amazing. Yeah. You know? Because
that was, what year was I? 92, 93. So back then, Mothercrafts was just starting to not be in hospitals anymore.
Yeah, they were changing.
If they were finishing,
the structure.
They weren't replacing them. Yeah. So that was probably one of my favourite placements was in the Mothercraft space and doing my maternity placement. So it was 3 weeks and it was incredible, so incredible. And I kind of, do I want to be a midwife? Like it was maybe, that was so much more study. Now they do direct entry to midwifery. But with you on that, like it was, I found that portion of the course really, really, really interesting. But again, they were starting to phase out mothercraft nurses because they weren't a general nurse to start with. They didn't have the nurse training. It was something quite different. So, so then, what made you? Did you end up working?
I went in a preschool environment. Yeah. I was an assistant there. Then I moved to work in the the daycare component at that centre. But I hated doing programming. I absolutely hated it. I hated being stuck still.
Yes.
And because I was always a really, really fussy person, you know, and I hated, you know, knowing that, you know, things just change like that all the time. There was just so much pressure put on us, you know, in those roles. And I did a little bit when I moved back to Melbourne years later.
Yep.
And then I sort of got into care work. I worked for Wesley Mission as well.
Yep.
Especially when my son went back to his dad, because we had, you know, a spare room as well. And I wanted to teach my daughter that, you know, not everyone is lucky enough to have a stable home life, you know, and we've got room for somebody else. But the mistake that I made was the girl that was going to look like she was going to live more permanently in our household was the same age as my daughter.
Okay.
And she came from Venus Bay. Her father was an MP. She was just really rebellious.
Wow.
And those two were just getting up to too much mischief.
Yes,
and I thought, no, this is not going to work.
Yes.
So this poor girl, she was absolutely devastated. But I thought, no, I've got to do the right thing by my daughter.
Of course.
You know, it's not good to have them at the same age.
Yeah.
But that was a learning experience.
Yeah, I bet.
But I did do respite, you know, for all ages, weekends and stuff too.
So when did you then train as a chef? So you'd done your...
Yeah, I started around 2019.
Oh, wow, yeah. Not that long ago.
Yeah, it was always a bit of a bucket list thing, you know.
Yes.
And when I lived in Cairns for a year and I did care work in Cairns, and then after I sold and after both my children were back with their dad, that kind of fizzled out. That idea fizzled out.
Yes.
You know, not my kids fizzled out, but the ideas that I had for them fizzled. And I just decided to do that. So I went for the interview at Holmes Glen.
Yep.
In Glen Waverley. And I got accepted. So I was really stoked with that.
Yeah.
I thought, even if this is only fun and I don't actually work, I knew I wasn't going to be a restaurant chef.
Yes.
I just didn't have it.
Got some culinary skills anyway.
You know, but it was, mostly fun. You know? And I'll tell you a really funny story. Our restaurant chef and I had connected years earlier.
Oh, wow.
And I looked at him when I first saw him and he looked at me and I thought he actually connected, but he didn't know. I told him at the very, very end we had connected online.
Oh.
And I told him. He goes, no, I had no idea. And I said, well, there you go. I said, how bizarre is
small
that?
world. Such a small world.
How bizarre.
Oh,
so I kind of played along with him. You know, we had lots of fun, but I was just playing him a little bit. But I thought, no, I have to tell him the truth.
Yes.
So that's what happened.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, on the flip side then, I mean, you've definitely described some really, really difficult times. And my question is, what is the hardest time and how do you get through it? But there have been so many. And you're still going through some things.
You know, the hardest thing I think is missing out on family life with my children and their father and their father's family manipulating the times that I should have been having family life with them. And so much so that the schools were led to believe that he had full custody.
Yes.
And when I found out, I just could not believe it. I thought, no wonder my poor children were so confused and they were being fed this deception, you know, and there's this wariness now. I know it and I see it, you know, but they've seen a lot too of aggression with the father and, you know, he's had to he's chosen to buy their silence.
Okay.
You know? But I have seen some really horrendous things where they've really been torn, you know, and then, look, it's really sad, but I haven't spoken to my son for 3.5 years.
Geez.
Last time I saw him was at my mother's funeral.
Oh, that's tough.
It is tough, and it's only now that my daughter and I are coming around, but she's got an amazing husband who is so caring and thoughtful and empowering and genuine, and he's so good for her.
Yeah.
And I'm just so, so thankful.
Yes.
So she's kind of been closed off from me. But hopefully things will turn around and there's this brokenness in her. I want to see if I can reach and turn around to let her know.
She's in Australia?
She absolutely is. Yeah, they live in Elwood.
Okay.
Yeah. My son's in Brisbane.
Okay.
He's managing a printing firm up there.
Mm-hmm.
But he did have the choice to do farming with his dad, but he chose to go up there for the time being.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, my daughter's had some really interesting jobs. She worked at Nobu at one stage, waitressing there, and she's done a bit of modelling, and she started off doing beauty therapy, but their house got broken into and she lost a lot of her supplies and her notes and her brand new glasses I've just bought her and all this stuff. So she took some time out and chose something else, and she's also worked as a buyer's advocate in real estate. Her father actually did real estate as well. And currently she works as a welfare analyst for a gaming group in Collins Street. Yeah, so she's done some really interesting jobs.
Yeah.
Very switched on, very smart, very resilient. Big party girl. They like a good time.
Yeah.
But, it'd be interesting to see what the next chapter, how it unfolds,
Yes, absolutely. I think, one of the things that you mentioned before is that the lady that's been your shining knight is giving you hope. I think that is, really, really important to not let go of that. My next segment, we've covered a little bit of work and profession. So you mentioned about when you had your first job was that in the milk bar? Was that your very first job?
Very, very first job, yes, yeah.
Yes. Milk bars, they definitely aren't what they used to be.
We had so much fun. Oh,
yes.
We just loved
it.
I worked for a Greek couple and they treated me like they were too, yeah.
That's awesome. Really, so good.
It was really lovely.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I had no idea, but I knew I wanted to do something with food.
Okay.
Maybe more along the lines of nutritionist.
Yes.
But I was hopeless at sciences and maths, And I knew I wasn't going to force myself to do those subjects to try and work in that field. I just knew it wasn't going to be a possibility. But I've always been really interested in the nutritional side of food, even when I was chefing,
Okay.
I know some of their chefs used to just roll their eyes at me. So, what if we just experiment with this or do a bit of less of that or whatever?
Yeah.
And I could almost read their minds. They used to look at me and say, well, I'm a teacher. I'm trying to teach you. Don't change the recipes because it's not what we're doing here.
Yes.
You're going to listen to us and this is how we do it.
Oh, there you go. Oh, geez. So what made you move into your community services qualification? What led you there?
I had a friend that did it.
Okay.
And I don't know, she might have been a bit of a role model, a high school friend. And I thought to myself, with all the dramas going on in my own personal world and my life experiences in my family life, maybe something good can come out of this. Maybe I can learn the stuff that I really need to learn to be able to get to the next phase in my life, and maybe this might help me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought about that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't specifically psychology or anything like that, but we did do a lot of learning subjects and, touch on different interesting aspects of young childhood,
Yes.
So, I don't know. Maybe a bit of that, I suppose.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? So my next segment is we're going to chat about your passions and interests. What are your interests and your hobbies?
Yeah.
Cooking.
Definitely food.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I try and do more plant-based, gluten-free stuff. I really enjoy embracing the Mediterranean background that I've got with regards to, the food that I enjoy cooking and serving.
It's a great combination, Maltese and Greek. That's a very good combination.
Yeah, especially Greek. But I do like Italian food too. And I've actually been lucky enough to go overseas and see some of those countries. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's just nothing like here. Nothing. So yeah, definitely that. But just being able to help people in whatever capacity, find hope and joy in their lives, especially when there's been a lot of trauma and a lot of setbacks, just being able to try and help them find themselves again. And, there is a book coming up that'll be part of that, a big part of that. And I enjoy cycling.
Yes.
Yeah. I enjoy doing the Bay Trail at the moment from my place.
Morning to Mishel is a nice spot for it.
It's lovely. It's really lovely. What else? I enjoy kind of home decorating, I suppose, like interior designing kind of stuff, but not on a professional level,
Yes.
I think I've got a bit of an eye for putting things together and changing things up a bit.
Oh, that's great. That's so good.
Those things. Oh, I love travel too. Absolutely. Yes. I want to, hopefully if the world permits, I'd love to do more international travel.
Yeah.
Had some amazing experiences. I even had a conversation with Prince Albert.
Oh, wow.
In Monaco.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gosh.
He happened to be dining in the same spot where we were dining. And
wow.
I remember sorting out our currency, paying for the bill, and that was before the euros came in.
Wow.
So we had bags of all these coins. And he looked up at me and he says, confusion. And I looked at him, I'm thinking, oh, hello. And he said to me, do you want some help? And I said, no, it's okay. And then we just laughed at each other.
Oh, my gosh. How long ago was that?
Yeah, that would have been in 1997.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Yeah. I wanted to go overseas before I had children, so that was the stickler. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about any favourite music or bands?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Oh, look, I love a lot of the 80s stuff.
Yeah.
I saw Boom Crash Opera with some girlfriends in Richmond just last year.
Yep.
But I like a bit of varied stuff. I like ethereal stuff, like Celtic stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Enya and
a bit of everything.
I like Josh Groban. He's got an amazing voice, and I have seen him live in concert. Gosh, what else do I like? There was a whole heap of bands 18 months ago that came to Mornington on the race course there.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Kate Sobrano, Tina Arena, all that kind of
Richard Marx.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was pretty good.
Yeah.
You go back in time, don't you, in your memories.
Yes.
And but I think I just I do like live theatre too, though.
Yes.
The last show I did see was The Great Gatsby.
Okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't get anyone to go with me, so I ended up going on my own. But yeah, I quite enjoyed that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Every now and then I like to come in and have a bit of a treat and do that.
I was going to say after coming to Melbourne. What was your first concert experience?
My first concert, Howard Jones.
Oh my gosh.
He was my very, very first
Howard Jones.
And I absolutely loved watching him.
Yes. What year was that?
So excited. I think I was in year 10, so that would have been 86, 85, 86.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Where'd you see him?
Yeah, in the city.
Yeah.
I was really lucky. One of the carers' son's wives, she was kind of on our side. Like she wasn't really playing by the rules, and she'd let us get away with it, And she nagged for me to come along because she knew I really wanted to. And her brother came along too. And we had the best time.
Yeah, I bet.
It was so inspiring. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I just want to keep doing this. I think the next one I saw might have been you too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
awesome.
no, that was my very first
Howard Jones. Oh, that takes me
He's
back.
still got catchy tunes, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, absolutely.
back then, yeah.
Absolutely. Got you with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yes, gosh, that's incredible. My next segment is family and friendships. So actually I'll skip back a bit. Favourite movies, TV shows,
favourite
actors.
movies. Memoirs of a Geisha.
Yes.
Really, really loved.
Yes.
And I've actually been to Japan too. I love Japan.
Oh, yeah.
It's one place I would love to keep going back to.
Yeah.
I just love the music and the story behind it and the scenery. It was just a delight to the senses, you know. And,
I've heard
in real life,
about Japan.
and the food was sensational and so safe, and the dollar's really good over there too.
Yeah.
Everyone's so humble and just sensory,
It's not too far from Australia.
Amazing, yeah. That's right. So that's one movie. Another one that I really enjoyed I did enjoy The Great Gatsby.
Oh yeah,
movie.
Yep.
What else? There's a trilogy. It was actually surprisingly entertaining. Some things were a little bit shocking in this trilogy, but it had a really good story. It was The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that was I quite enjoyed that one. And also like little mini-series. The last interesting mini-series was
there's so many around these days.
Can't think. I'll think of it later. Most
of course. It's always the way. So family and friendships, as you said, you've got some really good friends from many moons ago. Describe your friendships and how valuable they are to you.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I've got the type of friends you can ring when, mostly whenever, or message, and you know that they'll get back to you, or they'll arrange to catch up with you, even if it takes, 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are really solid. They've had really successful lives. This stability is the thing that, really draws me with these people, some of them during COVID too, like, one in particular that I went to school with, he lived just sort of up the road. I don't know how I would have done what I did without him. He was amazing. He'd come and fix things, and we go for little bike rides and have chats and coffees.
That's good.
Just a bit of, someone to chat with, because there's no one around.
Yeah.
No one around for me. And I had an apartment in Carnegie, and I'd go out into the balcony. I could see the Eureka Sky Deck from my balcony, but we'd often catch up and have a glass of wine, and he was a real good support during the time my mum had passed away and prior, So, he really stood out as well. And, a couple of high school friends I've had since we started high school,
Yeah.
And, some of them have gone on to become teachers, and they've always had really amazing family lives, and just done the best that they could with what they've had.
Yeah,
and,
that's really good.
Yeah, not
That's
pretentious or anything, just, easygoing and very realistic,
Yeah. Well, my next segment is life's turning points. So I guess I have a bit of background and knowledge about what probably you're about to say. But can you share a significant turning point or moment of realisation in your life? So, and over to you.
Yeah. There's been a couple. One of them was the experiences that I had to experience to become a stronger person and have better discernment as after I became a single person, because, the system doesn't always look after the mother.
Yep.
And on top of that, I had to deal with a husband that had a head injury, an
Mm-hmm.
ABI,
Mm-hmm.
and family that enabled this at times, I just promised myself that I would never, ever be in a situation where I was so vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
and that I would endeavour to live the best possible life I could possibly live, even if it means I am on my own forever,
Mm-hmm.
And also make strong, resilient adults out of the young children that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah. So, I mean, significant turning points in your life.
And then the other one would have been, well, it's still going, is battling the legal system
Mm-hmm.
with big moral issues. And actually, for one part of this aspect of this legal battle that I'm enduring, there have been recommendations gone to the Senior Health Commissioner
Mm-hmm.
after my report. So that is very encouraging, even though we've got a long way to go.
Mm.
But also understanding fraud and criminality and just how easy it is, for people to manipulate the system to suit themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the other big turning point for me is my Christianity, my faith. You only need as much faith as the size of a mustard seed. If your heart is open, it is amazing the blessings that come in, But it is a journey. It absolutely is a journey. I decided to be water baptised in Cairns before I relocated back to Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
And I had physical sensations, the Holy Spirit being all around me, protecting me, guiding me. And this healing journey has been so amazing. And the intercessors that I have come across who were basically working for God, who have come to encourage and to teach me things and, to remind me that, this is only a small part of our life, there's so much more. But the encouraging aspect of it all is just so, it just came at the right time for me because there'd just been so many setbacks. But I was determined I could not lose my spirit. But having the discernment and the empowerment and the voice that I never had, and being able to turn everything around is, for me personally, is probably the greatest achievement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I won't ever, ever let anybody tell me otherwise. And I'm very good at deciphering who the chameleons in life are.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very good at picking up dark energy. But we all have the will to choose either way, But I hope that people who are close to me especially can actually understand what I have to say and maybe, use some of these themes and these ideas, when things aren't going so well for them,
Yeah,
give them some scope or some hope.
So how old were you when your mum passed away?
Mum passed away February 22.
Okay.
So I would have been 51, nearly 52.
Okay. So semi-recently. Yeah.
And that was just what a horrible situation. But the best part was I knew my mum. I knew where she was going. She always reminded me, God is our miracle maker. Don't ever give up. I'm not afraid because, God is with me, And and she was often found with her Bible and inspiring others around her. And look, at so many amazing incidences happened, prior to I'll give you another example. I was running a children's room at one of the local golf clubs, and this guy comes in and he signs his kids in, and I saw his surname. And I said, wow, that's an unusual surname. I said, my mother had a psychiatrist with the same surname. And he looked at me, he said, what's your lovely mother's name? And I told him. And he said, guess what?
Oh, gee.
I was her psychiatrist.
Oh, gee.
And he was asking after her. How bizarre is that out of all the places in the world?
Of course. Yes.
The incidences that were happening, so unexpectedly. And there was another incident. I had, my mother was very, very pleased to hear that this interaction I had with this particular guy. Another incident I had was my computer wasn't working properly, and I had to contact a guy to come out and have a look at my computer.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so he comes out and he fixes it up and has a bit of a chat with me, signs the docket, and I said, wow. I said, my sister was married to a guy with that same surname, and get this. He said, what's your sister's name? Who was she married to? And I told him.
No.
And he said, you're not going to believe this, but that's my sister-in-law.
Oh, for God's sake.
Pleased to meet you. How you going? I'm not joking. And then I had to tell him the whole scenario, the whole story, why she was like she was, blah, blah, blah. And he just lived in the suburb next to me. He said, look, you want to keep in touch, whatever.
Oh, wow.
Blah, blah, blah. And they too believed in God as well. So God has funny little incidences that go on in people's lives, and he causes people to come and have a chat with you and give you encouragement. And I'll tell you another amazing story. I took my son to Canberra before he started the school year, after I had some dramas with their father, and I was just trying to get them sorted and safe. Anyway, we were waiting for some takeaway food. We were in Canberra, and this woman comes in behind us and starts chatting with him. I'm thinking, oh, gee, she's mega friendly today. Anyway, I got out of her. She says to me in the end, I didn't come here to buy food. God and the angels sent me in here. And she said, you guys need encouragement, and you be good to your mother. She's trying her best, blah, blah, blah. And she actually did give us some advice. She said, you need to stay with your mother until you're at least in your early 20s. Otherwise, you could get a bit out of hand, and you could be mixing with some interesting types. She didn't go into it, but that's all she pretty much gave me. Then I saw her minister's collar, and then I realised, she's a minister.
There you go.
I was like, how bizarre is that? But my son was so intrigued, so amazing.
So funny.
So many little things like that. Just occur with me.
Incredible.
Oh, and it was just meant to be like that, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
spot on.
Yeah.
Well, my next segment is Curious Corner, where I ask random questions about our guests. Can you recall a time where you just couldn't stop laughing about something?
Oh, I was one of these kids in primary school that used to laugh at just about anything and then get sent out into the corridor because I couldn't shut up. So it could have been anything and everything.
Yes. My next one is name 5 people you would invite for dinner and why, and they can be past or present people.
Are we talking famous people or anyone? Anyone. Oh, look, I really like Josh Groban because I think he's an amazing guy as well as an amazing performer.
Yeah.
And he actually did shake my hand too at a concert I went to. He came up through the audience.
Oh, yes.
Came up to me. So there was a bit of a special moment there. I would invite my 2 children, actually, and try and have a dinner where there was no going back, that we had everything sorted and cleared, and that we were all happy with each other and we could move on from whatever it was that was holding us back, you know, whether it was anything shocking, whether it was anything that needed, you know, more attention, whether it was a misunderstanding, I don't know. But so that's 3. 4 would be...
That's all. Some people don't get to the 5, but yeah, sometimes it's the certain significant people or past and present or celebrities. Some tables people have full celebrities.
They do, don't they? I actually really like David Campbell as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He would be up there. And one more. A girlfriend from high school.
Oh, yeah.
But I wouldn't know until the last minute. Because they're all special. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this one, if you could choose one song to play every time you walked into a room, what would you choose?
Song.
Howard Jones. Like some people choose sort of, you know, powerful songs. Some people choose dance songs. Some people, you know, a song that resonates with you that makes you feel good when you listen to it.
I Am Woman.
Yes.
Yes, it's one of my faves.
Yeah, spot on. That's good. That's good. Oh, my next one here now, as a chef or chefing, as you call it, is what's your signature dish to cook? And it can be main, can be dessert, or could be both. Signature dishes to cook.
Signature dish.
Like what's your go-to? If you've got time, because sometimes dinners are different depending on if you don't have a lot of time.
That's exactly
But if you've got time, what's your signature dish to cook?
I would say probably a really good vegetarian lasagna.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What do you put in it?
I would put marinated eggplant.
Yep.
Ricotta cheese. Chunky tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Roasted butternut pumpkin.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And also I would put... I really like these Italian anchovies, you know, the beautiful chunky ones. I just get, it's not exactly vegetarian, but I'd get a couple of those and chop them up really finely, put them in through the mixture.
Yeah.
And I really love black Kalamata olives. Yeah. And also I would do probably artichokes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The ones from the jar, so they've still got the beautiful marinade and the oil through them. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Oh, my next one is about injuries. As I've injured myself several times over the years, I'm always curious about other people's injuries. Can you tell us about a time where you've accidentally injured yourself? I'm very accident prone. I'm curious and it's...
Yeah. Oh, I do remember as a primary school child falling off a monkey bar and breaking my arm.
Oh, my gosh.
I reckon I would have been 11.
Yeah.
But then all the embarrassment that goes with that,
Yes.
like not being able to wash yourself properly.
Yes.
And all that blah, blah, blah.
Gosh, in plaster?
Yeah,
You put
in plaster.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah. I think probably that was the first one I remember.
Yeah, that's a doozy. The monkey bars.
Yeah.
People... Now, this one is for anyone. It's for people with partners or who haven't got partners, but it's the hall pass question. So if you were able to meet or have a night with a person that's completely unattainable that you would never ever meet, who would you choose? And people choose all sorts of people.
Let me think about that one. Golly gosh.
Anyone you're besotted with, or can be. Oh, look, people's answers to this can be, actors, musicians, even inspirational people that aren't in either of those industries. But I guess people seem to go for.
Well, you know what? Not so much for how he looks, but his personality.
Yeah.
And I love his humour. And I think he'd be the most amazing person. Richard Roxburgh. I loved
awesome.
him on
Rake.
Rake. Yes. I just couldn't get enough of him.
He is brilliant.
You couldn't help but love him.
His
character was just amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, he used to stand out.
Richard Roxburgh.
Yeah.
Have you seen, and now I cannot, he was in a series with Rebecca Gibney.
Yes.
Very, very hard-hitting series.
Yes, it's about
the church.
The church, that's it. He did an amazing job.
Awesome. I can't even think what it was called now.
I'll think
Probably
of it when
not last year, the year before, maybe.
I'll think about it when
something like that. But they were great. That was I hadn't seen him in a lot. I haven't seen him for a while.
She's a great actress.
Yes,
too. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I love Richard Roxburgh.
Yeah.
My final segment is Legacy and Reflections. Can you share a piece of advice or wisdom that has been meaningful to you?
Yeah. If somebody tells you you can't do something, you say, watch me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I like that.
If something doesn't feel right from the start, it's usually not right.
Yeah. Instinct.
Absolutely. Yeah. Instinct's amazing.
What are you most proud of in your life?
Oh, look, I'm so proud I have overcome so many obstacles and so much trauma and abuse. I reckon, my horrendous childhood, my mainly toxic family, although I do have a few special ones in there in the mix as well, which have really I've become quite close with, a couple of cousins in particular. My extremely abusive, manipulative marriage, and being able to be whole again, find myself again, being able to purchase a property and fix it up like how I want it, and having that freedom to choose, and having also the contacts and the confidence in some really powerful people to actually help others that are needing the same kind of assistance, somewhere along the line, being able to cross-pollinate, but, talk about God and know he's real, That's a really big, huge factor for me because, I wasn't so sure years ago, even though I had that experience when I crossed over.
Yes.
And then all the trauma in between, I had to realign myself and heal myself and listen to good, solid people that were intercessing along the way to get me to the point where I'm at now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I could have easily kept walking the other way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But these people that have helped me, my journey, have been absolutely spectacularly so genuine and so full of love and so full of encouragement and I just don't know where I'd be anywhere in the world without that that hope and so I'm very, very grateful, very, very blessed.
I think being able to just change the trajectory. So where things could have gone and where things actually went, you know, for you over time. But also I guess that it was consistent and, you know, I guess the trauma just continued on and on, but then you changed the trajectory for yourself. It was really, really important. Is there anything in your life you regret?
Yeah, settling down so soon, not having a strong sense of who I was and where I was going, because I'll admit, I was just drifting, you know. I was so lost and I was just drifting. And
you're talking about when you met your ex-husband?
Guy that I married,
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably that, but also not listening to my instinct when people in their situations aren't quite right, but I was overextending my goodness, my who I naturally am to try and get them to meet me halfway when it was so obvious that this person was playing me. That person was playing me, you know. That's a hard pill to swallow, especially when you want to see results and you're there because you're genuine, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. This is another one. If you could do things differently, what career would you choose? Would you still choose the same career as to what you're doing now?
I reckon I would have been a full-blown chef.
Yeah, okay.
Perhaps in not so much a restaurant chef, maybe some kind of little pastisserie or something.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe international.
Yeah.
Some sort of catering business, or maybe even an Airbnb, you know, where there was an amazing restaurant attached to it and it would incorporate big, you know, events and stuff like that. I think that would probably be something that would be right up my alley. Yeah.
Do you cook for the families that you care for?
I do for some, I do for some. I've been with them for 4 months now.
Okay.
After having a long break, you know, relocating and renovating and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully there'll be some more situations where I can get to cook.
Yeah. Do you have the same families each week? Is it a certain?
I've got about 4 that I have regularly.
Okay.
But then it's still casual based. So, you know, every now and then I'll have another one. Like I was in Portsea yesterday.
Oh, wow,
and, sometimes I'm in Summers, sometimes I'm in Mornington, sometimes I'm in Flinders.
Yeah.
All those beautiful peninsula pockets that I'm getting to see. I just love the fact that that side's rural and that side's coastal.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
right. Yes. It has the best of both worlds down there.
It's amazing.
I agree. When you look back on your life, what do you hope to be remembered for?
That little girl with the big brown eyes.
Yeah.
Who didn't really know who she was or didn't know really where she was going.
Yeah.
But she can sit down and now tell you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I agree.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to mention before we finish up?
No, I just hope the topics that we've discussed are going to be inspirational, you know, for anyone who might have been who've grown up in a similar circumstance or had similar circumstances as an adult. You know, just don't give up. You know, it's just going to be a phase. Just keep ploughing through because it is amazing the people that come across your path. It's amazing how you can grow and learn in ways where you don't even know that you are.
Yeah, that's right.
And time is our best friend.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Oh, my gosh. Well, that brings me to the end of my questions, Miss Annie. So, as I say, I can't wait to upload this bad boy. And I'm going to say thank you for joining me today And I can't wait to hear, the next steps as to what's coming next. So, thank you so much for joining me.
And thank you, Jodie.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure.
No worries. See ya. Wow. Thank you so much to Annie for her honesty and sharing her stories with us. I think having been through so much in her life and being able to reflect on where she is now is a really crucial part to acknowledge in this episode. So on a lighter note, let's give a shout out to Annie's hall pass, Mr. Richard Roxburgh. Tune in to our next episode where we get to hear more lives worth telling. Don't forget to check out and follow us on your socials. And if you love what you hear, please rate and review us on your favourite podcast app. Of course, if you have any questions, you can get in touch with us through the Facebook page or Instagram. If you or a friend or a family member would like to come on the show, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. And if you want to grab yourself some merch, jump onto Redbubble to check out our products. Thanks for listening to Lives Worth Telling. See you next time.